good. Hopefully you guys can hear me loud and clear because today, my friends, it is yet again AHN on the go, the only news you'll ever need because you have no other choice. People, let me tell you, CG, they just love dropping these hot posts when I decide to do a little bit of recon intelligence gathering on Order 66 raids. As you guys know, I'm out and about looking at all the greatest pirate hideouts because those were the key moments in Order 66, baby. And we have the deets on this Order 66 raid and probably what more people have their eyes on. We have our first teaser of the next Galactic Legend, and I'm gonna say it caught me off guard. You know, we've been generally having a little bit of a puzzle. You know, this kind of goes with that goes with this. You know, it's Rey, Kylo, Sith Eternal, Jedi Master Luke, and then I had Kenobi, Lord Vader, and then we had Jabba, pause, but then we got Leia. They all kind of worked in thematic pairs. However, my friends, let's just cut to the interesting part right here, right now. If you scroll all the way down, in case you guys didn't remember, if you missed it, let me just enlighten you. You guys all probably saw Order 66, but you forgot the moments where pirates were involved. Yes, pirates are going to be involved in the new raid, but putting all that aside just for a moment, we're going to talk about it again. Here's what we have. I know pirates aren't all available at the start of the raid, but when will pirates be available as the optimal full team? Now, there's actually two little nuggets of information here. The first pirate marquee is a leader, so you'll have a full squad of very shortly, but once the era is complete, there'll be two powerful teams for the raid. So we're finishing up the Jedi Vanguard. We're getting Jedi Master Base Window. What was it? June 24th, so about 2 weeks from today. And then we're going to go to the new pirate world where new marquee is a new lead. But then we're also seeing one led by the next conquest unit. SM-33's not a lead. Although, you know, maybe if you ever figure out where Atatin is, he can maybe be a lead. But until then, it can't happen. So we're going to get two back-to-back conquest units, it seems like. But the cherry on top, the piece de resistance, the creme de la creme, my friends. What do those mean? I don't know, and I don't care. Because what you need to know is that we're going to have another team led by the next Galactic Legend coming at the end of the pirate era. So we have a Galactic Legend pirate that's going to be leading one team. The next marquee is going to be leading another team. We have SM-33, which let me put it out there. I'm going to spoil it. Later on this week, I had a video pre-recorded for when I was gone, talking about all this fun pirate shenanigans. So when you see that video later on this week, I think a lot of it's going to be a bit more pertinent as we're moving forward into this next pirate era. But that video did not have the context of, well, there's also going to be a pirate Galactic Legend. So who knows? Maybe some of those pirates we're talking about in that video, I won't spoil it. We'll save it till later on when that video comes out. Could be the next Galactic Legend. So caught me off guard. I think a lot of people were expecting, even though CG never said there were supposed to be a pair, we just always assume because of the past several years, there's always been kind of a pairing, whether immediately or, you know, disjointly. Well, we all imagine if Ahsoka's the last Galactic Legend, well, Thrawn's got to be the next one. Well, I don't think Thrawn's a pirate. So people, I want to see your speculation go wild. This is going to be exciting stuff, my friends. I feel bad. It's actually funny. Another spoiler. I have a video kind of going over the 6 months review of Ahsoka Tano and the fact that she never really had a way to plug into the game, whether territory battles or the new raid or even having some sort of event like Jabba, Leia. Pretty Patrol doesn't 100% count in my opinion. Anyways, we're going to talk about all these different things I had planned out. So it's good to know all those things I pre-recorded. The tactical scanner saw the future and they will be relevant. So anyways, let's start from the beginning now. I want to get down to the juicy bit about the Galactic Legend Pirate that we're going to be having. So my trip down here, exploring all these pirate hideouts for Order 66, it's 100% a business-oriented trip. Am I right, people? Anyways, let's start from the beginning, my friends. Order 66. Hello, Holotable heroes. It's time to defend the Jedi Temple and prevent the extinction of the Jedi and to gather all the doubloons that the galaxy has to offer. Order 66 has been dispatched through the galaxy, and Lord Vader leads the charge to eradicate the Jedi. You'll need to cut through the legions of dark side clone troopers with your own dark side clone troopers. People, do not use facts and logic. You don't need to think about that stuff. And face the might of the Sith Lord himself in an attempt to give your fellow Jedi a chance at escape. Get ready to challenge destiny and fight for the fate of the galaxy in this legendary new raid. And here are the allowed characters, and a bit more than I was expecting. And I think there's some good news here. Although pirates, kind of a concern there. Of course, no Ahsoka. A lot of people are a bit bummed about that. But kind of like what I was hoping for. We're going to have, if you bought that Jedi Lightspeed bundle for Naboo raid, a lot of it will come in handy here. So, all right. I feel like there are more characters not related to this raid than those that are. If you guys didn't know, they had to kind of shoehorn Bad Batch V2 in because, well, whatever they had planned got canned, and they wanted people to have that value. So they kind of just said, hey, even though they never really did anything in this variant in Order 66, they're going to be involved. So Omega, Batcher, Hunter, Mercenary, Wrecker, Mercenary, Crosser. So not Bad Batch V1, just the second gen. Then we have the Dark Side Clone Troopers. Again, they're going to be a little weird. Dark Side Clones versus Dark Side Clones. Again, people, stop using facts and logic here. You're playing Galaxy Wars. You're playing a product, not a game. CC 1119 Oppo, all the Dark Side Clones, and the newly reworked Grand Moff Tarkin. I'm really excited to see how he's going to shape up for this 3v3 Grand Arena season. Didn't really get much out of 5v5, but in 3v3, we're going to have a bit more fun. And then the Jedi. In terms of Jedi Vanguards, of course, the new Jedi Master Base Windu, Jocasta Nu, Depa Bilaba, card in the top right-hand corner if you didn't see the kit reveal for that, Jedi Temple Guard, and Ayla Sakura. And then all the additional Jedi. So this is some good news for folks that, again, bought those Lightspeed bundles for the previous raid. As we can see here, Barriss Offee, Eth Koth, I'm a Gundai, Jedi Counselor, Jedi Knight Guardian, Kelleran Beck, Kit Fisto, Luminar Unduli, Plo Koon, Qui-Gon Jinn, and Shakti. So, you know, that Lightspeed is going to get you a little bit more mileage. Again, is it going to be like the best team? I mean, yes, we know that the Luminar team, it's a good team in the new raid, but you know, obviously the better ones are the Gungans, the Queen Amidala, yada, 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 yada. I don't know if it's going to be that, but again, have to wait and see. But again, you get some mileage out of those characters, which I'm happy to see. Now, already went over the pirate question. There are more pirates coming, one with the Marquis, another Conquest, and then we have a new Galactic Legend on top of that. So, a lot of new pirates coming around the corner. How long will this raid live for roughly? I want to make sure my investment is worth it. Very subject to change, but currently we're eyeing about a year before the next raid. The Naboo raid had a long run time. So this is one of those things where if you're thinking about investing in the raid, you should be able to get that long-term value. And, you know, the earlier you can get into the raid with all these characters, the more bang per buck you're gonna get. So it's good to know that if you're looking from a value perspective, giving you over a year, I'm guessing, you know, it's gonna be good for a lot of people. And there was definitely a lot of lessons to be learned from this past raid. You know, we don't need to nitpick too much right now. But one of the things about Naboo raid, Nabooty raids, also it's called Naboo raid, they were awfully long. And it's one of those things where it's like, you just hit auto and you walk away, right? It's not like, you know, the trio raid or whatever, those other raids where there was like a, you know, kind of a puzzle you had to figure out on manual, and then eventually the whole goal was you solo it, boom. Now it's just, you got the team, all right, throw it on auto. You don't need to have a 10-minute auto battle or whatever it was, it's like 10, 15 minutes, whatever it might be. Anyways, we definitely heard you on this one, and these attempts should be much quicker. Cool. Now we got some overall strat details here. While there are multiple ways to score points, your main goal in the raid is to give Jedi a chance to escape from Lord Vader's wrath as he storms the Jedi Temple. Cool concept, right? Cool concept. I like it. You know, a little bit different, right? There are multiple clones defending him. Fox, Oppo, disguised clone troopers, and Nightfall troopers. So, hey, all right, okay. If all disguised clone troopers and Nightfall troopers are active, you cannot target Lord Vader. Once one falls, seize the window and target him 3 times in order to break his concentration for the Jedi he was targeting to escape. Kind of cool. Fox and Oppo. Man, why didn't we get Fox? We revived the disguised and Nightfall Trooper, and each provide bonuses to help power you up once you defeat them. And if you're unable to give Jedi a chance to escape, you can also earn points by surviving against Lord Vader once it becomes enraged after the fate of all the Jedi have been determined. So it seems like a fun, cool concept, a little bit different. I mean, when we look at the newer gen raid stuff, you know, I enjoyed the Crate Dragger. I felt it was cinematic. Again, I wish we had a big character attached. I feel like CG's missing that. Like that, like the Territories, when it first came out, people cared a lot about it because there was the carrot, you know, Reva, right? And think of all the other previous Territories. I still feel like it's a big missed opportunity not introducing a raid character. That would get people so much more excited. And who knows, maybe invest even more into these characters here. But I digress. Seems like a fun concept. I like the Crate Dragon. I think the Crate Dragon is fun. You know, it's basically setting up a big, powerful play. Like, I kind of miss doing, you know, the Mandalorian stuff, the HUD cartel stuff. I do miss the Crate Dragon raid. And then after that, kind of felt like it went downhill. But who knows? You only can go up from here, right? I don't think we're at the bottom yet, right? Or are we? Well, let's worry about that when the raid actually drops. Faction bonuses. Here we go. Satellite radio coming in with the boom. Pirates. Whenever a pirate gains a stack of profit, they dispel all debuffs on themselves. Seems nice. And their next ability deals bonus true damage equal to 10% of their max health to the target. Seems like fun. Again, kind of hard to really understand this from a larger conceptual standpoint because, well, we only got a handful of pirates. SM-33 is waiting for probably the marquee, and then we have another Conquest unit, and then we have a Galactic Legend. So, yeah, this is going to be a raid where we're not going to have all the stuff ready day one. Anyways, we could kind of imagine Jedi Vanguard plus 50% max health and protection, especially if you got Jedi Master Mace Windu. We did the Caravan yesterday. Seems to be a lot of fun. I saw people concerned that, you know, he's called an attack, but he's got a lot of support like attributes. Some people are worried he's going to be like Jedi Knight Revan, where Jedi Knight Revan is a glorified traffic cone. But anyways, you know, we still like him. Jedi Vanguard takes reduced damage from percent health damage effects. So good for damage over time situations, which I'm guessing Lord Vader will have. Whenever any turn ends, if a Jedi Vanguard has 2 or more buffs, they gain 10% off in stacking for the rest of the encounter. Nice. Okay. All right. That's pretty easy to conceptualize. A lot of buffs on a Jedi Vanguard team. Dark Side Clones. Again, a little weird, but then again, you know, we had the, what was it called? The, oh gosh, so geez, Endor raid, right? And, you know, we had, you know, Gideon and other Imperial troopers fighting themselves. Again, a little bit weird, right? the thematicness, if that's even a word, kind of feels a little bit off with recent raids. Anyways, whenever an enemy is inflicted Order 6/6, all Darkside Clone Troopers and Grand Moff Tarkin gain 25% Terminate, 25% offense for 1 turn. Seems like a lot of fun, right? You know, we got to see how easy it is to get Order 6/6, because as we know, kind of tough to get Order 66 out there. Bad Batch. Stealth characters deal 5% more damage. Hey, good thing about them, they start stealth right away. Non-stealth characters take 5% less damage when targeted. Okay. Now we have the hero bonuses. So the Galactic Legend pirate herself, I don't know, maybe it's a droid, maybe I don't know what it's going to be. Again, I feel like the only part that really comes to mind, again, more videos coming out later on this week. Obviously, Hondo's the biggest one. I'll spoil one of them I had later on. It's Maz Kanata. I don't know, maybe she's kind of a Galactic Legend type of thing. I mean, there's also like droid pirates. I don't know. I'm excited for what's to come. Again, caught me off guard. So again, more to be added on that later. Jedi Master Mace Windu getting a big bonus. Whenever an enemy is revealed, Jedi Master Mace Windu dispels all debuffs on himself and recovers 100% health. If Jedi Master Mace Windu is the ally in the leader slot, Jedi Vanguards gain benefits based on their role. Attackers, 100% offense. Yeah, there's a couple of attackers, Jocasta, and you got Depa, Mace Windu, so that could be nice. Healers gain and supports the spell Stealth at the start of their turn. Tanks immune to stun. Gain protection of 100% for 2 turns whenever Jedi Master Mace Windu uses a special ability. Seems like it's going to be a big deal, just like Queen Amidala was for her respective raid. Jocasta knew whenever a Jedi Vanguard ally attacks on a turn, Jocasta's cooldowns are reduced by 1. Whenever she uses a special ability, Jedi Vanguard allies gain crit avoidance up for 2 turns. Then Kelleran Beck. It's good to see that we see stuff like this coming up. While Kelleran Beck has full health, he has 25% speed. Grand Moff Tarkin gains tenacity equal to 5% of his potency, which he's got some pretty good potency here. CC 1119, Oppo. While there is an ally Nightfall Trooper active, Oppo's plus 25% defense. Omega Fugitive, whenever Omega dispels a debuff, she gains 50% tenacity for 1 turn. Okay, we'll have to see how that looks like. And then we have these granted abilities here, sort of like we had. One of the things I do like about Naboo Raid, the cutscenes are cool, right? You know, then we have like the thing where you get through the little space combat and you got different bonuses. That was fun. That was cool. That was one of the nice things about Naboo Raid that I did enjoy. Rescue. Must attack Lord Vader 3 times to acquire. Deal damage to Lord Vader 3 times to unlock. Rescue the endangered Jedi. So I'm guessing it's going to be kind of important. Subdued. If you defeat Oppo, all enemies are subdued until defeated, which can't be copied, spelled, evaded, resisted. Whenever enemies inflicted with the debuff, they take true damage equal to 5% of their max health. So yeah, getting debuffs out there is going to be critical, and Subdued does minus 35% critical avoidance, defense, and tenacity. Dire Fortitude. If you defeat Fox, add 5 stacks of execute to the enemy Lord Vader. 10 stacks if all allies are Jedi Vanguard. All allies gain Dire Fortitude for the rest of the battle. And what is Dire Fortitude? Well, 35% critical chance, defense, offense. Whenever this character gains a buff, they also gain 10% critical damage stacking for the rest of the battle. So again, seems sort of like what we had with Naboo Raid, where Naboo is a little bit different, where after a couple of waves, you get these abilities, where this is more interacting with what have you done in the battle. If you did something, all right, you get these new granted abilities here. So probably timing out when to get subdued, when to get rescue. It's going to be kind of a big deal. And then here's your attempt scoring info. So you have 5 attempts. If you defeat a Nightfall Trooper, 5,000 points. Defeated Sky's Clone Trooper, 5,000 points. Defeat Fox or Oppo, 22,500. Save an NPC Jedi. That's where the big chunk of points is coming from. 65,000 points. And then you have a second chance of points. And then perform an ability on your turn against an enraged Lord Vader. 10,000 points. So pretty simple setup, where again, majority of it's going to come from pretty much defeating an NPC or getting an NPC Jedi and trying to defeat Fox and Oppo. And then we have all of your usual multipliers. So I'll just scroll to the very end here. What is the highest of tiers looking like here? Well, here's what the enemies are going to have. They're going to have 230% defense penetration maxed out. And what is that? Is that 10,000? Yeah, 10,000 offense. Yeah, it's just a small amount. Just a little bit. And then faction bonuses, however, Bad Batch, you get plus 6% accuracy. Whenever enemy dispels mark, they're inflicted with mark for 1 turn. So again, that's one of the biggest things for Bad Batch. They need the mark to guide them, and it's especially important for Hunter, though. When he throws his spear, big damage, which can't be dispelled, prevented, or resisted, and Lord Vader gains 10 stacks of executes. Stealth units deal 50% more damage. Non-stealth units take 50% less damage when targeted. Yes. Faction bonuses. Darkside Clone Troopers. Darkside Clone Troopers. In case you missed the first Darkside Clone Trooper, they wanted to make sure it was noticed again. Darkside Clone Troopers and Tarkin are immune to stun. Nice. Whenever enemies afflicted with Order 6/6, all Darkside Clone Troopers and Grandma Tarkin gain 100% Terminator, 20% offense for 1 turn, and additional 75% offense for the rest of the encounter, and Lord Vader gains 20 stacks of execute. And then all of your hero bonuses. Attackers instead gain 200% offense of Jedi Master Mace Windu, healing support allies dispel all debuffs on Jedi Vanguard allies at the start of their turn, and tank allies instead gain 200% protection up. And of course, it's the highest tier, requiring Relic 9. Well, I guess I'm there with my Dark Side Clone Troopers. We went a little ham on the Dark Side Clones. Again, I had a ton of fun with the Dark Side Clones. It was so cool to see him. Especially happy to see that Lord Vader had a second chance at glory. I don't think he's the best Galactic Legend in the game by far, but he's still much better before him. I take him over Jedi Master Kenobi now. Kind of crazy to say. And now the rewards and the milestones. Oh boy. There are no reward structure changes from the Boo Raid, but we've made some changes to the guild milestone boxes below. All right. So a few things that have happened here. Boy, tactile scanners working overtime right now. All right, so it looks like tier 1, basically the same, nothing happening here. However, it changed from the current tier. It says minus 2 million, so just the point structure, right? So instead of 22,500, 20,500. Okay, but it looks like, so they made it look, so if I'm understanding this correctly, tactile scanners doing some number crunches. Listen, numbers and me, scary business, my friends. Looks like for tier 6 and below, they're trying to make it easier to hit those tiers. Cool. But then they kind of tweak it a little bit, where for tier 7 and 8, you're going to need a little bit more points. 8.5 million, 17.5 million for those tiers. And then they drop it. So a lot of ups and downs here. They are going to drop the points needed for tiers 9 and 10 by 20 million, then 41 million respectively, and then no change at the highest tier. So again, they're kind of making it easier to get to some crates and a little bit more difficult, and then a little bit easier. So it's kind of like woo, woo, woo. And then nothing has been changed from personal milestones. We made improvements to the raid milestones based on your feedback. Okay, we heard that the gaps between the reward boxes felt too large. So we've added a new box at the lower end, effectively having one of the major jumps. Additionally, we've smoothed out the point requirement for higher tier boxes, making the climb feel much more consistent. We're eager to hear what you think of these adjustments. So people, go ahead down below, scream to the top of your lungs, fix your game. Listen, let's just preemptively just say it. And then we have words from the raid designer. Basically, you don't need to read it. The designer's like, man, I was watching Order 66 and seeing Hondo stop Anakin from slaying the younglings just it hit him on emotional level. So again, you don't need to read it. Just take my summary word for word. I gotta find this lost copy of it where Hondo and Omega were teaming up together, and then Tarkin's like, you know what, I've had a change of heart. We gotta put an end to this Lord Vader madness. And anyways, transmission. Holotable heroes, your pathetic attempts to defy the inevitable are noted. You believe you can interrupt Order 66. You believe you can stand the might of the Galactic Empire and the will of the Force. Your resistance is futile. Every Jedi you seek to protect will fall. Every one of you who stands in my path will be crushed. Your hope is a weakness, and it will be your undoing. Arg. End of transmission. There you have it, people. So no date that was listed here in regards to when this raid's coming around town. My guesstimation, probably the week that we get Jedi Master Mace Windu, which is going to be June 24th. So my guess later on that week we'll see it. So it's people, lock in. It's the calm before the storm. Looking forward to seeing what this new raid is like. It's nice to finally get out in Naboo. Hopefully this is going to be more fun, more interesting, and, not as boring. Listen, we have very, very, very low expectations. Galaxy of Heroes, very low. And more importantly, I want to hear what you guys' thoughts are on this new Galactic Legend Pirate. Cool to see it. Boy, caught me off guard. I don't know. Again, a lot of cool parts they could add. I don't know why. Is there a droid pirate out there? I don't know. I think that a droid Galactic Legend pirate. Again, I have the video coming out later on this week. So again, don't want to jump the gun too far ahead for right now. But let's just say we went over a bunch of pirate options out there. So I guess that video is going to be a little bit more fun when it comes out later on this week. So people, thank you for stopping by. Leave a like, comment down below, subscribe so you're not missing a thing. And always remember, it's great to be in the Empire today.